It's your boy Teez back with another video. Yo, people said, hey Teez, we really loved the Press of Darkness Charged with Light build you had for last season, but now it's the new season. We got Beyond Light out, the new raid, PvE going on here. What do I do with my build now? I want to be able to raid and I want to be able to smoke everything in PvE. Well, the Teez has got you covered, so stay tuned. We'll take a look at what we're doing this season. All right, my friends, so here it is. You want to see what we're using now that we've got the new season with the new raid and PvE activities. So here it is. Same concept. We don't have Press of Darkness anymore, but we're still using the Charge with Light. We still got our shield break. We got our supercharged, our high energy fire, taking charge, and our stacks on stacks. So as you know, stacks on stacks is a void only mod. So you got to make sure you have a void piece. I like to put it on my class item. So there you have that. We got taking charge, high energy fire. That's where we get our weapon damage. We got supercharged, which allows us to hold up to 4 stacks of light. And we got our shield break. So we got 2 ways of getting charged with light. Shield break charge. And are taking charge. So we kind of build around that, right? So just like anything else, you're just going to fill in your stats, whatever you seem necessary, depending on the weapons you're using. You know, you got things like hands-on. Of course, these are elementally based. But as a basic, those are your charged by light mods and how you get charged up to deal extra damage. Now you say, all right, well, I haven't done the raid yet, so how should I, what kind of weapons do I need for the Beyond Light raid? Well, what you're going to see a lot of is Slug Shotguns, the Lament Sword, so that's the new exotic, very easy for anyone to get by themselves. So if you haven't got that yet, you go see Banshee, he has the quest for it. Go out, it's like 11-step quest, should take you less than 2 hours to complete. Get that sword, because it is used by most people at the Atrax encounter in the raid. Slug Shotgun, so this is used, it's a lot of close quarter combat in the raid, so a Slug Shotgun is good to use. I have this. Of course, if you've never been in the raid, you're not going to have heritage because this is from the raid, and this is also probably the god roll, in my opinion, for this weapon. As you can see, we have some new perks for our raid weapons here: reconstruction, recombination, and we'll talk about why the Slug Shotgun is important. If you don't have this, like you won't if it's your first time, you may have a first in last out from last season, or you may have got one this season. You can turn in tokens with Zavala or Banshee and get a chance to get one if you don't have one yet. You're kind of looking here. Mine has Demolitionist on it. I don't have the ideal one, but as long as you have one, it's going to do better than not having one. But what you're kind of looking for is Vorpal Weapon there. A lot of yellow bars in the raid, and Vorpal Weapon comes in very handy when you get to the final encounter with Taniks. For our energy weapon, or power weapon, we're carrying Lament a lot of the time, especially for the Atrax encounter. For the second encounter, right after the Sparrow beginning encounter, I call it the blow up the fuse encounter, because that's what you do, is blow up fuse, these big fuse dispenser things. You're not going to want to have the sword on. I use Xenophage because it only takes like a couple shots from Xenophage to break one of the fuse capsules. So Xenophage is going to be good to bring along. If you don't have Lament, but you really have no excuse for not having it, because all you got to do is take a couple hours, go do the quest. Fallen Guillotine may come in handy for you as well. In terms of energy weapons, I use Gnawing Hunger a lot. There are Void Shields throughout the raid. And then you got the Slug Shotgun. If I didn't have heritage, once I got to the final encounter, I would probably switch to first in, last out there to handle the Taniks encounter. And Xenophage would be my power weapon of choice. I also use this Hawthorne's Field shotgun, depending if I want to have my grenade back a lot. If I run that, I'm usually running it like this. Shotgun there, gnawing hunger here. And then depending on the encounter would depend on what my power weapon is. But for the most part, we're running like this throughout the raid and switching between Xenophage and Lament depending on which boss encounter we are at. Like I said, first in last out is a good thing to have in your pocket as well, especially for the last encounter. Other than that, at Atrax, we kind of field it out with, I use one of these two pulse rifles because we want something with a little bit of range, and I go Gnawing Hunger, and of course the Lament there. So this is just kind of a basic setup. Now you say, well, what subclass do I run? If I'm on Warlock, I typically run Stasis. And here's how I have my Stasis set up. Cold Snap Grenade. And my fragments are as follows. Whisper of Hedrons. Whisper of Bonds. Whisper of Shards. And Whisper of Fissures. Allows us to control the field of the adds very well. So that's kind of how we set that up. Now, depending on who else is in the team when we get to the final Taniks encounter, we may have to switch to Well. If we do, when we switch to Well, we would put on our Phoenix Protocol chest piece. But you may say, oh, I see you have those necrotic grips. Well, I don't have those, so what should I use? You don't need them. They are just very good if you do have them. If I didn't have these, I would probably run Ophidian Aspects. Very good. Exotic. It wouldn't be with those mods, of course. We would switch those around, but those would be my choices. So necrotic grips if you have them. If not, and I'm running Stasis, probably Ophidian Aspects there. If it's at the final encounter and I'm gonna be the person supplying the well to do during damage phase, I would put on Phoenix Protocol. Then I would just put on my base legendary gloves here that I have as well. So that's basically it in terms of for a Warlock. This should do very well for you. The rest of it's just applying the mechanics, but in terms of what weapons to use, that's what you're going to want to bring. Something with some range up here. Pulse, I suggest a good pulse rifle. Something with, Wellspring's pretty decent. And I got Demolitionist if I want to strictly get my grenades back super fast. I'll use one of these. And then my energy weapons of choice again are Gnawing Hunger. First in, last out. If I didn't have Heritage. And then we bring the Lament, Guillotine, Xenophage. And also, of course, up here, once you get Heritage, this is a very, very good shotgun. But that's it, folks. That's my basic PvE. And this is what I run in PvE as well. My guns change depending on what I'm doing. If I'm doing strikes or if I'm just chilling out in Europa, killing stuff, I'll mess around with different weapons. But in terms of the armor, this very rarely changes. This is pretty much my standard go-to, run-of-the-mill, going out and killing stuff build. Now we will be working on another raid build once we get all the raid armor pieces. I do not have all of them yet. I just have the head, the chest, and I think we have feet. Yeah, we're missing the class item and hands. So once we get those, we will put together a different raid build because the raid has its own specific mods that can only be equipped on raid armor. As you can see, here's just a couple of them. We have Enhanced Scanner Augment. You have the Herd Thinner. And it depends on the element because some of these are element specific. There's the one for the Suppressor. And I don't think my boots... Oh, we do have Arc Boots. Scanner. And Operator is, of course, Solar, I believe, but we can show you what they look like here if you haven't noticed them yet. Here they are right here across the top. Herd thinner, enhanced operator, enhanced scanner, enhanced suppressor. So these are your 4 new Beyond Light, Deep Stone Crypt, raid specific mods here. So we will be utilizing those once we get a full set of armor. We'll put something together with that because that is going to change a lot of how we build our armor because they are expensive mods, as you can see, 5 points a piece. But that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. If you want to see this build in action, let me know. I'll put together a little video of me actually playing in this build. But this is for my Warlock. The Warlock is pretty much right now our main for the season, though I do play Hunter and Titan as well. Hunter was my main last season, but Warlock's so powerful this season, we've been maining the Warlock. But my builds are pretty much the same for those as well. Same charge by light mods, same kind of setup. So we just transfer weapons over and we roll. But that's it, my friends. Teez Monkey out of here. I hope you're enjoying Beyond Light. And if you got any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook as I do live stream over there at fb.gg/Teez Monkey. I'll see you guys in the next one.